lifted back in his...
Yeah, it's a difficult question because, you know, it's difficult to win any trophies at any given time in football. And I just really, you can't put your finger on it because I pray every day when they go into a competition and that they do win something, because there's nothing worse than having players and people talking about the team.
Right.
And in the end, they don't quite get the recognition that they actually deserve in the end. So they've been very, very loyal, the supporters. But whenever you're there, I think that if you walked, unfortunately, down Pine Street or Smith Street, everybody that would run to the successful side and leave the current side alone. And that's not good for football. And so let's just hope that somebody wins something and gets it all together again.
And it's worrying that we're not at these World Cups, right? The last one was obviously the one we hosted. We didn't need to qualify in 2010. We missed out in 2014. We're missing out again in 2018. So not good to have South Africa absent from the biggest stage of world football, George. We should be there at the World Cup in Russia.
Of course, I think we deserve to be here. I think we've got everything in place that should, you know, to be successful, but just somehow we're not putting it together. I think I was a little bit more diplomatic than myself, but I think it's a lot to do with that. I think they've dropped the ball over the years, and I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons I think we haven't been to a few more competitions.
So, you know, in terms of development of soccer and getting youngsters into the game, both young boys and young girls, I know you both are involved. George, you at Riverside, Clive, you with the Clive Barker soccer schools. We do have talent at junior level, and it's graduating that through the ranks to eventually represent us at a senior level. Is there a challenge in converting really good young boys and girls into proper Bafana and Banyana Stars club?
You've got to have the infrastructure, and you know, even now, if I look at the little setup that we are, and are very grateful for the area that we can train in. But quite honestly, you've got like 10 teams training on one football ground, and it's not good for the game. It's good for the individuals. They go so far. The Indian kids worry me the most because they're so damn talented, and I've got 3 at the moment who are top class players. But there seems to be a feeling that once they get to standard 8 and 9, then education takes over completely, and there's a drop off from football. So how we can keep everybody interested, more grounds, more facilities, toilets. I mean, it's crazy sometimes you say toilets, but if I had to go to places, there are no toilets, and we're well down to 2018.
So much for the legacy then, that 2010 was meant to give, right?
Yeah, and it should have given. And I just think the other thing, of course, a lot of people have said, what was the biggest day in your life? And I say the inauguration of Nelson Mandela, because quite honestly, when I looked at Ellis Park, when he came to the stadium, because he said, I'll come and watch you play. And I thought, nobody's ever come to watch any of our football teams play. And here it is, Nelson on his biggest day, turning in and saying he's coming to watch the football match, which he did. He rolled up with 3 limousines, went onto the ground, and then realised they shouldn't be on the ground. And of course got out of it. But really a fabulous time in football, because George Koumantarakis, I watched the World Cup team, and I sat right behind when George Koumantarakis got the pass, and he drop kicked it, of course, and we won the World Cup. And it was really a tough time, because as the ball went through, I said to myself, this is extra pressure. And of course, it was in the end, but of course, we'll talk a bit later about the effect of Madiba and Nelson Mandela, of course, on the international scene.